What's up, everybody? It's Michael Edwards. Welcome back to 2023. Happy New Year. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I look forward to big things coming this year in 2023. So today we're going to talk through the 5 major functional movement patterns. So you have the push, pull, squat, hinge, and carry. And we're going to go through movements for each one of those and things that you can do at home, in the gym, probably not on the course, but that you can prepare out off the course to help prepare you to play better on the course. So here's a kind of like a little triangle I drew, a little pyramid. We've kind of gone through some general movement. That was kind of towards the beginning of the series. And then we talked through mobility. What are some things you can do for improving your mobility, whether it be hip, spine, or shoulder. And then today we're going to tap into the strength component. And that's where really these 5 functional movement patterns come in hand. And we're going to keep it very foundational because you can go as deep as you want with these movement patterns. But I just want to teach you fundamental or foundational principles that tie into strength gains. And then it's once we can build a solid foundation and then build that strength, well, then we can start to build upon that foundation and then really tap into power, speed, and agility, which we'll get into next month, as well as in March. So without further ado, we're going to start with a hinge. All right, so with the hinge, it's a pretty foundational or functional movement pattern, and really the hinge is the foundation for most movements that we do in every single day of our life. So really, it's almost like it's the initiation or beginning of the squat. So all I want you to think about when you do a hinge is literally just kind of stick your butt back like you're trying to close the car door with your butt. So for however far my hips go back, my chest or my spine goes equally forward. So it's kind of like a counterbalance. So really that motion right there we call it a hinge. And so my spine angle is not changing. I'm not rounding my back or arching my back. It's literally staying neutral. Just my hips are sitting back and a slight bend in my knees. And really that's also, we call it golf posture, or basketball, the triple threat position, right? So it's just a very functional position that you can then perform athletic movements from, okay? So that's the first movement, just practice that hinge, okay? The second, kind of like a progression to that, is going to be a loaded hip hinge. So take a kettlebell or a dumbbell, grab, feet about shoulder width apart, and all you're going to do is just hinge down, let the kettlebell go down towards the floor in between your feet as far as you can without squatting or bending the knees, and then come back up. So hinge back, let the kettlebell to sink down as far as you can, really as far as your hamstrings will let you go. So once you get to a stopping point and you can't go anymore because you just feel that tightness all back here, that's your stopping point, and then thrust the hips back up. So a little progression from the hinge, but very similar as the squat, right? We should be able to squat every day for the rest of our life. Super functional. So with the squat, you're going to go into the hinge pattern again. So hips back, and then from there, just going to bend the knees and squat. Try to sit the hips straight down as far as you can, and then come right back up. So from the front on view, feet about shoulder width apart, maybe slightly outside shoulder width apart. Hips back, chest forward, and then just squat straight down. And then again, kind of similar to the first or second episode we did, just be aware of what you feel, right? Do you feel like you're shifting to one side or the other? Do you feel pain or discomfort? Do you feel tightness in your ankles? Whatever it may be, don't force past that. Listen to your body. If you're having discomfort or pain, obviously reach out to me. I'll help you with that. So really the first exercise is just the squat. Just do a squat, right? Very functional. Just up and down. If you want a little challenge, grab that kettlebell, bring the kettlebell to your chest, and then do the same thing. So hinge, and then squat straight down as far as you can, and right back up. And a little more challenge, you can, for however far you squat down, press the kettlebell out a little bit further. It's going to give you a little counterbalance, but it's also going to allow you to sit a little bit deeper in that squat. All right, so give those a try. All right, the next movement is going to be the push. So with the push comes the pull. They kind of counterbalance one another, right? When you push, you're using your chest muscles. When you pull, you're using your back muscles. And a good rule of thumb that you'll commonly see out in literature and the PT, strength and conditioning world, is you want a 2-to-1 ratio. So that's pull to push. So meaning for however many pushes you're doing, you want to do 2 times for the pulls. And that's really just to kind of keep you more back here and prevent that rounded posture. But with the push, again, you can go as super deep as you want, but I'm gonna keep it very simple. I like doing an inchworm and then adding a little push up with it and then pushing yourself back up to standing. So an inchworm is keep your knees straight. You're gonna lean down as far as you can. Take your hands to the floor. If you can't get there, you can bend the knees to help. You're gonna walk out into a push-up position. From there, let's go into a push-up, drive right back up, and then you're gonna push yourself back to a standing position. And then come back up, and then we'll just repeat that all the way back down. So that's a simple little exercise that gives a good lengthening and stretch on the hamstrings, challenges your core, challenges your shoulder stability, but also you get a little push with that as well with the push-up. Then another exercise that I like to challenge you from my anterior or front side approach standpoint is a kettlebell shoulder press. So you can do this, I will start on the ground first, and then you can progress to on a bench. But I like getting to a position called the dead bug. So your low back is flat against the ground, and all you're going to do here is just go into a single arm chest press. You can do a dumbbell, a kettlebell, you can cup it, different variations. And what single arm does is it actually challenges your core to stabilize so you don't fall off. So you might even find yourself bring that hand out to the side to give you a little more balance, but also you can come straight up. Then you'll switch sides. So give that a try. For a pull, my go-tos are rows, right? So when you do a pulling pattern, we call it a rowing motion. So I'm gonna start off pretty basic and easy. You can take like a mobilization band, or like a TheraBand, we call it in the PT world. Even like sometimes it's like a little bicep band curls you can wrap around the feet. Just find a band where you can wrap it around an anchor. And then you can get into that golf stance, that golf posture or athletic position. And then all you're going to do is pinch your shoulder blades back and just pull the band to your chest, right? In this case, there's band here, but if you have a loose end on both sides, again, just pull it towards your chest and really just working on getting a good pinch or good feel back here between your shoulder blades, your scapula, right? That's going to help open your chest up, and it kind of goes back to that pull to push ratio, right? So we really want to make sure we're working these back here to help compensate for that forward rounded posture that we all tend to have. So a little progression from that will be what I call a gorilla row. So you're going to take, you got 2 kettlebells, ideally same weights, or 2 dumbbells. Dumbbells be a little bit harder because you got to reach a little bit further for them. But you're going to get into that little squat position, feet about shoulder width apart, maybe slightly outside shoulder width apart. And then all you're going to do is hinge, hips back. When you hinge, I want you to bring your hands straight down towards the kettlebell. And then the kicker with this is I want you to just basically sit into the squat as far as you can without rounding the back to get your hands to the kettlebell. If that's too deep and you can't get there, then you can put the kettlebells or the dumbbells on an incline so you don't have to reach down as far. So here, hinge. I'm going to take my hands straight down to the kettlebells, just sitting back into my hips, going to a kind of like a deep squat. And then from there, just going to do a little single arm row. So again, just really focus on getting down to a good squat depth, and then really focus on doing that pulling pattern and really engaging those posterior chain muscles or those scapular muscles. All right, so give those a try. All right, the last thing we have is the carry. So a lot of times people will overlook just the carry movement in general, but really it comes down to grip strength, right? So grip strength is also very overlooked in the golf swing. So think about, in order to hold the club, those muscles that are responsible for holding the club really originate from your forearm and your elbow, and they come down and cross the wrist joint into your hand, and they control all the motions of your wrist. So it's very important to have a good, strong grip, because if you don't, then that can definitely control the club face, especially if you're in the rough or whatever it may be, depending on the situation. So a great exercise that I like doing for grip strength, but also it kind of brings into the core as well, is we call it a farmer's carry. So I want you to grab a kettlebell, a good size weight to challenge you a little bit, and we're going to go single arm carry. You can also do double arm. It's going to be a little bit easier, but I like the single arm component because think about the weight to my right hand. Well, the weight wants to bring me into like a right side bend. Now I have to activate my core on the opposite side to engage to keep my shoulder plane level. So maybe find like a little runway in the gym or at home, and maybe walk 10, 15, 20 feet, whatever you have available to you. And then literally just want you just to walk normally without letting any of those compensations occur like this, right? So really want you to think about engage the core as well as the glute on the opposite side to keep you upright. Okay, now another exercise that I like doing that's really a good indicator as far as like your grip strength and especially endurance is a pull-up bar. So go to, in the gym, or we have it at home as well, go grab onto a pull-up bar, and then depending on how tall it is, you can jump and hold on, or just grab on and bend the knees, but just hold that position as long as you can, and just see what your baseline is. Is it 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, whatever it may be, and use that as a comparable sign for hopefully increased number or increased time as you do more and more of them. So again, go grab onto a pull-up bar, hold it, and really just feel that wrist and all those forearm muscles working. And that's gonna help you increase your grip strength, which will carry over into being able to control your club face at impact. So I hope you all enjoyed all those 5 fundamental or foundational movement patterns. This is really starting to get into the fun stuff, right? So depending upon if you have a particular physical limitation or an impairment, that's where we can really hone in and help you be able to perform these movements that we went through today. But then to get to a point where it's more performance-based, and then also this is kind of the part of the plan of care where I really love collaborating with a strength and conditioning coach. And so being able to have a strength and conditioning coach program a plan for you in combination with the PT side, just the results are phenomenal. And that's the fun stuff, being able to collaborate with them and have all those mindsets on your side. So stay tuned for next month, where we will really start to tap into the top of the pyramid, the power, speed, and agility. And again, don't let all this information overload you. I don't want to overload you, but try them out, right? If you get frustrated, it's okay. Just try them out, right? Just move, right? At the end of the day, just move. But if you have any questions or have any discomfort or pain, or you want to learn more, feel free to reach out. I'm an open book. I'd be more than happy to help you achieve your goals, especially as we head into this new year. So happy new year, and I'll see you next month.